Alright, here we go. So I'm going to be playing Kaiba Man again. I run into this guy so often, and this time he's going to be playing some Egyptian gods, and I'm playing Scareclaws. So let me show y'all the deck that I'm actually playing in this match. So I'm playing Scareclaws right here. Now this deck is so powerful. This basically has a 9 card way to get to the 4 mud skipper right here, which just so happens to be the main starter in the deck. You basically got the 4 mud skipper, the 3 of those, and then you also have 3 of the pyrorized maps. We also got 2 of the Cyanide minings, and then the 1 for 1, which gives us 9 ways to actually get to 4 mud skipper. And then we got 10 ways to set up an omni negate. We got 2 of these here. We also got the 2 of these, and then this to send this, so that's 5 ways there. And then we got 2 of these and 3 of these, which gives us another 5, which makes 10 total ways to get to an omni negate. Now, I know what you're thinking, bro. Diabellstar's trap is not an omni negate. Well, shit. You got me, I guess. Not really, but let me explain this. So, since this card is new, I'll explain it. Basically, you can start off with one, and we'll use this so then that way you understand the bridge. Basically, wanted can search for Diabellstar. Diabellstar, you don't have to use wanted to get to Diabellstar. I'm just using this as an example for the bridge purposes, right? So then Diabellstar can literally summon by just discarding anything pretty much. You discard summon. Once it's summoned, it searches for original sinful spoils. Original sinful spoils send something off the field to summon out Jet Sync Run. Usually it's the field spell that I send to summon Jet Sync Run. Jet Sync Run summons. Then you link that off for Linkaribo. Then Linkaribo off for Secure Gardener. Boom. That sets the Linkaribo in your grave. You activate something. Activate the Jet Sync Run to discard something. Boom. That summons onto the field. And then there you go. You got Jet Sync Run plus this in the grave, and that allows you to go into Borolo Savage Dragon and equip the Linkaribo. Now, that's if you got no other plays. You do that if you just got a bunch of dead cards in your hand, and you just need to get this on the field to get you to a 1 Omni Negate. Boom. That's how you do that, right? Now, the other one is the Adventure Engine. If you don't know how to do that, hey, you're playing the wrong game. So, this deck does set up a whole bunch of follow up, and the particular thing that I like about that particular Omni Negate, the Diabellstar one, is this card right here has a sneaky effect that people don't know about. They know about it, but they forget about it, especially in this deck. Now, when you're playing Snake Eyes, people know, and they know like what they need to watch out for with this, which is the search of the Kurikari. But when this card's in the graveyard and Diabellstar's in the graveyard, you activate this card, it puts this back into your deck and searches for Kurikari. Now, super powerful in this deck for the simple fact that as follow up, if you do the standard play and it gets you to the DPE, when you summon it out using Predator Plant Verde Anaconda, or even just Fusion Destiny right off, basically it puts one of these in the graves and then a denier. When it does that, basically you can summon this, then summon denier, put the one of these that gets banished back into the deck, and then link this one off that's on the field, and then summon another one. So basically you get 3 summons that can happen from your graveyard as follow up, just for the simple fact that you went into DPE the previous turn before that. So as follow up, you get 3 summons from your graveyard. A lot of the time that makes your opponent start to just activate effects, and then boom, you activate Sinful Spoils and then drop a Kurikari on them. Just that simple. Then on top of that, if you started off with Wanted, you can then activate Wanted after the original Sinful Spoils to then draw an additional card. So then that way you can have even more follow up. So this deck has a lot of follow up that can happen afterwards. And then on top of that, like let's say you start off with the trap, and then you want to do the original Sinful Spoils, but you don't want this card to end up banished because you want to use it again, you could always just go into Cyframe Lord Omega. This card basically will stick around for almost the entirety of the game until they figure out how to stop it. This card is very deceptive and it's very hard for them to stop because of the way that it moves around on the field. It can basically just unbanish stuff, so you can just continuously unbanish Jet Synchron and then loop Borlo Savage Dragon by like literally using its effect and then linking this off for something else, and then just unbanish Borlo Savage, unbanish, or this will actually go back to the extra deck, and then boom, you can summon this out again. So that's why I put it in here, is because this can create loops basically for grind game. So you can summon these two over and over and over and just keep putting this back into your graveyard and just resummon, use it over and over and over and over and over. So it creates loops. Also, this card creates loops with the Sinful Spoils and the Wanted and all of that good stuff. So this card can just continuously keep going back into your deck, and then you can just keep unbanishing Wanted. Super good. And then Wanted will just keep unbanishing this. So it creates loops. Hopefully that makes sense. One day I might show it, but hey, I've done it before. If you watch the gameplay, you'll see it. But maybe one day I'll show a gameplay of me just literally doing the loop. So let's go ahead and watch how this plays out. So I'll go ahead and start with Balloon, go Scareclaw Lightheart. Lightheart's going to search for the field spell. Boom, summon the field spell, or activate the field spell to summon Reichheart. Use these two to go into Dagda. Dagda's going to trigger the Parallel Exceeds. Parallel Exceeds triggers the Dagda, setting the Scythe, which the Dagda does once it gets triggered. Then we're going to use the two Parallel Exceeds to go into IP Masquerena, resummon a body out, so we can go into Predator Plant Verde Anaconda, and then summon the DPE. And I triggered the Diabell Star to send the field spell to summon out the Diabell Star. Then we set the trap face down, activate DPE to pop the Scythe, and pop the DPE. Kind of want everything else to remain on the field, so I summon out the Scythe. He's going to summon out Reactor Slime. Now I don't want this card trying to attack, and this is why right here. It says during the battle phase you contribute this card, set one metal reflect slime from your hand, deck, or graveyard. I don't want that to happen, so I'm just going to negate this card, and basically Tryhard puts that into defense. So I could have really just went Tryhard and I just basically like not really did anything, but this doesn't have to attack for it to get that effect, so I don't want that anyways, so I just negate it. Then my opponent is going to allow me to make these plays, and then he's going to activate Soul Crossing. Now Soul Crossing basically contribute on all my monsters, and I was so glad that he didn't have Winged Dragon of Ra, because if he had Winged Dragon of Ra, basically I would have lost, because he would have ate up everything but 100 of his life points, gave this monster his Winged Dragon of Ra 7,900 attack. Of course I'm only at 6,000, and I would have died right then and there. So luckily I only get hit for two grand. For 2,000, my boy. DPE summons back to the field. I then go ahead and pop the original Sinful Spoils. Remember that combo I was talking about, that graveyard effect? You're about to see it. Now, it doesn't really matter because he doesn't have any monsters, so I don't have to Kurikari him. There's no way to actually Kurikari him, if anything, but you get a chance to see this effect. So I activate the original Sinful Spoils. It puts the Diabell Star back into my deck. Activate the Destiny Hero Malicious right here, and then just go ahead and summon out a Scareclaw to go into Lightheart. And of course my opponent's gonna, he's gonna scoop it up, my boy. Like I say, this deck has so much follow-up, super powerful. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.